What's going on, guys? Bexio back, and today we got a brand new video. Today we are going to find out who the best finance YouTuber is out of the bigger guys here. We all know people like Graham Stephan, Meet Kevin, Andre Jick. Those are the big three main ones, and we got a couple other guys here as well. This is our chart right here, just throwing it into Photoshop to try and make it easy because there isn't a tier list that actually has this done. So we got first here Bieza, Nate O'Brien. He's the only one on this list. I don't actually know who he is, but he's got over 1 million subs, so he's a big guy. We have Andre Jick, Jeremy, not gonna even try and pronounce his last name, and Graham Stephan, Meet Kevin, and Dave Ramsey. So we could go about this a few different ways. We could sit here and look at sub counts and say Graham Stephan's the winner because he has the most subscribers, but there's a different way to kind of look at this, and it's going to be relevance. And how are we going to figure out relevance? Well, the most trustworthy place is right here, Google Trends, seeing who is getting Googled the most. So we'll see who is exactly going off here. Let's start with our first guy here, Bieza. Makes great content. If you don't know who he is, go check him out. He's a pretty interesting guy here, and let's see how he stacks up against, well, I guess himself right now. So Bieza, the only problem right now is that we can't, I guess none of them are big enough to actually be able on Google Trends to search them as a YouTuber. So we're stuck with the search term for now. But that'll do. So we see up and down, a little bit of spikes here, not really consistent flow. So Bieza off the gates, a little bit choppy here, but because I can look at my own analytics and see that not even 50% of people that watch my videos are from the US, so we might as well make these charts worldwide. And it changes it just a little bit, gives them a bit of a spike in February here, and keeps them a little more consistent. So, all right, so Bieza right now in the lead. Let's take him, and we'll put him at S right now because he's the first one we've done. So he is up there as number one. Up next, we got Nate O'Brien. I don't know who he truly really is, but that doesn't mean he can't be a massive creator. But he did not crack Bieza here, and his average is much lower than Bieza. You know, there's sometimes where he's a little bit bigger, where he's got his moments where he's gets his little spikes, but ultimately Bieza's still a little bit bigger than he is. So where do we put Nate O'Brien? Let's put him for now. We'll put an A. We'll just put these, do them as we see them coming up right here. So now we got to add, who is that? Andre Jick. Andre Jick himself. I think this is how you spell his name. Let me double check. Yes, that is how you spell his name. So, Andre Jick absolutely crushing them. He's got a better average than them, higher spikes, but he hasn't had as big of a spike as Bieza has in February here, which is kind of crazy. I don't know what he did or if there's somehow a different Bieza thing in the world, but for now, we have Andre Jick getting much bigger spikes than everybody else, so a little bit more relevancy. His average is higher. So let's move Andre Jick to S, where he is up here pretty much by himself, and we just got to take everyone else and move them down a little bit. So now we have Jeremy, and his last name is insanely hard to spell. So Jeremy out here not even showing up at all. But let's give him the benefit of the doubt and put in his YouTube channel because his YouTube channel isn't his name. So let's put in financial education, and since it's not going to work because obviously people are going to Google financial education over people individually. So this is the whole term. So that doesn't work. So unfortunately, Jeremy, we might just have to keep him in an unknown because you can't very easily get his Google Trend results. So he is unknown. That's kind of tough, but let's go with the most popular finance YouTuber out of everybody here, Graham Stephan. Does he have what it takes to overcome Nate O'Brien, Beheza, and Andre Jick? So let's see what he's got on him. Oh, he crushes the competition. His spike, the first one to beat Beheza's spike, and his obviously his average just massively outweighs everybody. It's not even close with Graham Stephan here. So, I mean, he dwarfs everybody else. He's not on the greatest trajectory here. I don't know what this is about, but he's consistently above everybody, and very small times where he's below. So, obviously, Graham is an S tier. We got to put him in S tier. So, Graham goes S. I think we might put Graham at S, put Beheza and Andre Jick in A, because they're very similar. Andre beats him by a little bit. I mean, 8-13. It's very close. For now, let's keep them both in A, and we'll move Nate O'Brien. We'll keep him in B for now. We'll keep him from B for now. Move Andre Jick down to here to A, and there we go. Now, this is shaping up a little bit better. All right, so here we go. We got Graham number 1, Beheza, Andre Jick, and number 2 tied in A, and then Nate O'Brien in B. Next up, Meet Kevin. Does Meet Kevin have what it takes to overtake this race, become number 1 in that S tier? His governor run might have pushed him forward a little bit, got his name out there some more. Let's see if it actually did. So Meet Kevin. And oh, he dwarfs everyone. So his peak, massively bigger than Graham's peak. And he hits a peak again here. This might have been the governor stuff. But, I mean, consistently above everybody. Even the downturn is keeping him above everybody. Average at 49, Graham's 21. Not even a question here. Meet Kevin. He is S tier. This is insane numbers from him. And I think this finally has to knock everybody down. We got to knock everyone down a rank, because those numbers are absolutely crazy from Meet Kevin. And Graham, he's still above everybody else, but Meet Kevin does beat him out. Very, very big, actually. So next up, we got Dave Ramsey, the final opponent for everybody here. How does everybody stack up to Dave Ramsey? Now, we can only do 5 at a time, so we'll take out the lowest one, which unfortunately is Nate O'Brien. We'll take him out for Dave Ramsey. And this one, we can actually look up his exact person. He's an American radio personality, obviously. So we will look him up exactly. There are levels to this game, and nobody stacks up to Dave Ramsey. Oh my God, look at this. We thought Meet Kevin was up there, dwarfed by Ramsey. Absolutely dwarfed. 59, pushes Meet Kevin down to a 5. He was a 49 against everybody else, pushes him down to a 5. Graham to a 2. Beheza to a 0. I mean, this is big stuff. I mean, this is a big game. Dave Ramsey, he's playing the game right. He gets S tier. He wins the whole thing. He's got to win the whole thing. Dave Ramsey. I think we just move everybody else down. We just move everyone else down to the other tier. So this is Google Trends talking. This isn't, anything else. This has no opinions in it. This is only Google Trend factual. So you can't really even argue with this list. And this is going to be the final list right here. So Dave Ramsey, number 1. His numbers blowing everyone out of the water. Meet Kevin coming in second. He was the highest out of everybody else. Couldn't compete with Dave Ramsey. This guy is on another level. Graham Stephan doing his own thing. there's a little bit of competition there between him and Meet Kevin, a little bit. You know, it still wasn't very close, but at least he was up there. And then we got the runners up: Beheza, Andre Jick, and then Nate O'Brien following up the rear. This is only off Google Trend data, so you can't really argue with it. So we'll see. Jeremy can't really find a place for him because he's not very Google Trendable, so it's tough. But this is our list right here, so it looks pretty good. Plays out a little bit different than you would have expected. Meet Kevin above Graham. Obviously on subscriber count, Graham's got all these guys beat, but on a Google Trends, people aren't really Googling him, I guess. So that's going to do it for this video. Found out Dave Ramsey, #1 and in a sphere of his own. As always, guys, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I'll see you guys in my next video.